Hello and welcome to LifeNLearn. Today we're discussing body scan meditation. Imagine lying down, closing your eyes and slowly sweeping your attention from the tips of your toes to the top of your head. This simple practice is called a body scan meditation, and it's a core technique in mindfulness training. In this video, we'll explore what a body scan is, how it benefits your mind and body, and the fascinating neuroscience behind it. By the end, you'll understand the real science, psychology, and brain biology of how this practice reduces stress and boosts well-being, and we'll share some tips to help you try it for yourself. Body scan. Meditation is a form of mindfulness meditation where you methodically focus your attention on each part of your body, one region at a time, and notice any sensations without judgment. Typically, you might lie on your back or sit comfortably, then start at one end of your body, say your feet, and scan upward or downward, observing how each area feels. Is there tension, warmth, tingling? The goal is not to change the sensation, but just to become aware of it. It's a bit like taking an internal X-ray with your mind's eye. For example, you might spend a few moments feeling the pressure of the floor under your heels, then move to your knees, your thighs, your belly, and so on, up to your shoulders, neck, and head. During a body scan, you simply notice sensations and gently return your focus whenever the mind wanders. And it will wander, that's normal. This practice comes from Buddhist meditation, especially a style called Vipassana, and was made popular in the West by a teacher named Jon Kabat-Zinn. He calls the body scan one of the best practices for people dealing with chronic pain and stress. The key attitude is one of curiosity and kindness toward whatever you feel in the moment. So, in summary, body scan meditation involves slowly tuning in to each part of your body from head to toe, observing sensations without trying to change anything. It's a simple concept, but what can it do for us? To answer that, let's look at the psychological benefits first, and then we'll dive into what's happening in the brain and nervous system when we practice this form of meditation. Research has found that practicing body scan meditation can lead to several important psychological benefits, helping us feel and function better. Let's break down a few of the major benefits and the science behind them. Reduce stress and anxiety. One of the most celebrated benefits of mindfulness practices like the body scan is stress relief. By mentally scanning the body, we often discover areas of tension we didn't even realize were tight, and the act of noticing and releasing that tension can bring immediate relaxation. Over time, this translates into lower stress levels. For example, in a controlled study, college students who did a 20-minute body scan each day for 8 weeks had significantly lower levels of cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone, compared to a control group. This indicates a real reduction in physiological stress. Another clinical study on individuals with generalized anxiety disorder found that an 8-week mindfulness program, including body scans, reduced anxiety symptoms compared to a stress management education group. Psychologically, the body scan helps break the cycle of stress by grounding your mind in present moment sensations rather than racing thoughts. Many people report feeling calmer and more centered after a session, as if they've hit a reset button on accumulated stress. Improved emotional regulation. Ever feel overwhelmed by your emotions? Body scan meditation can help with that too. By practicing paying attention to bodily sensations of emotions, like a tight chest when anxious or a hot face when angry, in a calm, observational way, you train yourself to notice emotional cues early and respond more thoughtfully. This builds a skill psychologists call interoceptive awareness, basically awareness of internal signals, which is linked to better emotional management. In one experiment, even a single 30-minute body scan made participants more composed and even-tempered under stress. They were able to maintain equanimity, a calm and balanced state of mind, when facing something stressful, compared to people who just listened to a poem or did breathing exercises. In short, the body scan seems to increase our ability to ride the wave of emotions without getting swept away. With regular practice, people often report feeling less reactive and more in control of their responses. This makes sense. You're essentially practicing observing whatever arises, pleasant or unpleasant, with a bit of distance, which is the same approach you can apply when a surge of anger or anxiety comes up in daily life. Science backs this up. In general, mindfulness training is associated with improved emotional regulation and even measurable changes in brain areas involved in emotion. More on that soon. Increased body awareness and mind-body connection. As the name suggests, body scan meditation greatly enhances your awareness of your own body. At first, it might surprise you how much you normally tune out physical sensations, but with practice, you become more attuned to subtle cues. Maybe you notice that your neck stiffens when you're under pressure, or that your breathing gets shallow when you're anxious. This heightened body awareness is very useful. It can alert you to stress or emotions early on, so you can address them before they snowball. In clinical settings, body scans have been used to help people with chronic pain because getting in touch with the body in a gentle way can change the relationship to pain. In fact, even a brief 10-minute body scan has been shown to reduce perceived pain levels in chronic pain patients compared to a distraction task. The goal isn't to magically cure pain or discomfort, but to change how we perceive and relate to those sensations. By regularly tuning in, you may start to feel more connected with your body rather than feeling like your mind and body are two separate things. Therapists often say this practice helps people befriend their bodies and recognize signals like hunger, fatigue, or tension earlier. It's essentially the opposite of numbing out. Over time, this can improve your overall self-awareness and even confidence as you develop a better understanding of what your body needs. What's important is that these benefits are not just subjective anecdotes. They are supported by scientific studies. Mindfulness practices, including the body scan, have been shown to help with conditions like anxiety, depression, and even physical health issues in numerous research trials. Of course, it's not an overnight miracle or a one-time fix. The effects tend to build up with regular practice, but even in the short term, as we saw, a single session can bring a temporary calm or relief. Why do these psychological benefits happen? To find out, we need to look under the hood, into the brain and the nervous system. Let's dive into the neuroscience of body scan meditation and see what's going on in our heads and bodies when we practice this mindfulness technique. So, what happens in your brain and body when you do a body scan meditation? It turns out that mindfully tuning into your body can spark significant changes in both brain activity and the autonomic nervous system. Let's break down the neuroscience into a few key areas. Brain regions activated during the body scan, how the nervous system shifts into calm mode, how mindfulness practice can actually rewire the brain over time, and the special role of interoception, the mind-body connection we've been talking about. Brain regions and activation. When you practice a body scan, one of the most active brain areas is the insula, or insular cortex. This region, deep within the brain, is like the hub for internal bodily sensations. It's where the brain integrates signals from your organs and skin and creates the feeling of what's happening inside you. In fact, when people consciously focus on internal sensations, the insula lights up strongly. It's the same area that might activate if, say, you feel your heart pounding or your stomach fluttering. During a body scan, as you move attention through the body, the insula is continually engaged, mapping those sensations. Over time, this interoceptive network can become more refined. One study found that after mindfulness training, which included body scans and similar practices, connections involving the insula actually became stronger. Essentially, the brain built a better network for monitoring internal states. This could explain why long-term meditators often have heightened body awareness. Other brain regions also play a role. The prefrontal cortex, the front part of your brain behind your forehead, is heavily involved in any mindfulness meditation, including body scans. This area is responsible for attention, concentration, and regulating impulses. When you repeatedly bring your wandering mind back to, say, the feeling of your knee or your breathing, you are exercising the prefrontal cortex's attention control circuits like a muscle. This region helps keep you focused and also modulates emotions. As a result, practicing the body scan can increase activation in prefrontal regions that calm down the reactivity of the amygdala, the brain's fear and stress center. The amygdala, located deep in the brain, is responsible for the fight or flight response. It lights up when we're afraid, angry, or under stress. Fascinating brain scan research has shown that after 8 weeks of regular mindfulness meditation, the amygdala shows less activation in response to emotional triggers. In other words, things that used to set off your anxiety or stress circuitry elicit a gentler response. This aligns perfectly with what people report. Feeling less reactive and more even-keeled. It's as if the brain's volume knob on stress has been turned down. Nervous system and the relaxation response. The effects aren't just in isolated brain regions. Your whole nervous system shifts when you do a body scan. Normally, when we're stressed, the sympathetic nervous system is in charge. Heart rate goes up, breathing gets fast and shallow, muscles tense, and stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol flood the body. This is the classic fight or flight mode. Body scan meditation helps activate the opposite branch, the parasympathetic nervous system, often nicknamed rest and digest. As you lie there breathing and slowly moving your attention through the body, signals of safety and relaxation are sent to your brain. You might notice your breathing naturally slowing and deepening and your muscles unwinding. Physiologically, this practice can lower your heart rate and blood pressure and reduce levels of stress hormones. In the study we mentioned earlier with daily body scans, not only did participants feel less stressed, but they also showed tangible biological changes. The body scan group had significantly lower cortisol levels in their system after the 8-week training compared to the control group. This was measured via hormone assays, indicating that their bodies were literally in a calmer biochemical state. Such changes reflect what Harvard researcher Dr. Herbert Benson famously called the relaxation response, the body's built-in mechanism to counter stress. Essentially, a body scan is a reliable way to evoke this calming response. Over time, something interesting happens. Your nervous system remembers how to relax more readily. As one health expert put it, regular practice trains your system so that it becomes easier to shift out of fight or flight and into a relaxed state when you need to. This means that with practice, your baseline stress level can drop and you'll recover from stress faster. Many people also experience better sleep as a side effect, because turning on the parasympathetic system at night, for example, by doing a body scan before bed, helps with falling asleep and improving sleep quality. Brain plasticity, mindfulness changing the brain. One of the most exciting findings in neuroscience is that consistent meditation can actually change the structure of your brain, a phenomenon known as neuroplasticity. Body scan meditation, when done regularly over weeks or months, is a form of mental training, and like training a muscle, it can grow certain neural connections. MRI studies by researchers at Harvard and other institutions have demonstrated these changes. In a landmark study, participants took an 8-week course which included body scan practice, mindful yoga, etc., and had their brains scanned before and after. The results showed increases in grey matter, brain tissue, in regions associated with learning, memory, self-awareness, and compassion. For example, the hippocampus, a seahorse-shaped brain structure crucial for memory and also for regulating stress, became denser. This might explain improvements in memory and the ability to cope with stress. Another area that saw growth was the prefrontal cortex and the temporoparietal junction, which are involved in self-awareness and empathy. On the flip side, the researchers observed a change in the amygdala. It shrank in size, technically reduced grey matter density in proportion to the amount of stress reduction people reported. In plain English, the more someone's stress went down, the smaller their amygdala became, suggesting a direct link between feeling less stressed and physical changes in the brain's stress center. And remember, this was after just 2 months of practice. This finding is remarkable. It's physical evidence that mindfulness practices like the body scan can rewire the brain's pathways for the better. It's not that your brain grows a new part, but it reallocates resources, strengthening the areas you use often: attention, body awareness, emotion regulation, and quieting down the areas that generate anxiety and fear. Scientists have also noted improvements in the connectivity between brain regions. For instance, after mindfulness training, there can be stronger connectivity between the prefrontal cortex and the amygdala, which is like having a better brake system for your emotional reactions. All of these brain changes underlie the psychological benefits we discussed. With a brain that's more tuned into the body and less dominated by constant alarm signals, you naturally feel calmer, more aware, and more capable of handling life's challenges. Interoception, tuning into your inner world. A core theme running through all of this is interoception, which is a fancy word for the awareness of internal bodily states. Body scan meditation is essentially interoception training. By regularly practicing it, you can actually improve your ability to sense internal signals. There's research to back this up. In one study, participants who did daily body scan practices for 8 weeks showed significant improvement in detecting their own heartbeats without feeling for a pulse. A classic test of interoceptive accuracy. This means they became more sensitive to subtle bodily cues. Why is that helpful? Because our brains use internal signals to guide us. Hunger, fullness, pain, comfort, tension, fatigue, excitement. All these bodily sensations inform our emotions and decisions. Better interoception has been linked to better emotional processing, as we discussed, and it might even relate to empathy, sensing others' emotions, because when you understand your own internal signals, you may attune better to cues in others. During a body scan, by focusing on what's happening inside my body right now, you strengthen the insular-centered networks that underlie interoception. Over time, this can lead to what some call a body sense or heightened intuition about your physical and emotional needs. It's like turning up the volume on your body's whispers so you can hear them before they become screams. Neuroscientists are discovering that this brain-body loop is a two-way street. Not only does the body send signals to the brain, but the brain, through practices like meditation, can alter how those signals are received. By cultivating interoception, body scan meditation might help break cycles of rumination or worry. For example, paying attention to your breathing or your heartbeat in the moment can anchor you away from looping anxious thoughts, which are associated with the brain's default mode network and rumination circuits. In fact, some researchers hypothesize that mindfulness training improves depression and anxiety partly by boosting interoceptive awareness, basically pulling people out of their racing minds and into the present sensations. Now, that was a lot of scientific detail. The takeaway is this: body scan meditation engages the brain areas that help us feel our body and regulate our emotions. It calms down the stress response in the moment, and with repeated practice, it can even lead to positive structural changes in the brain. It's a beautiful example of mind-body medicine, how using your attention in a deliberate way can produce measurable changes in your biology. Mindfulness isn't magic. It works through known mechanisms like muscle relaxation, nervous system activation, and neural plasticity. Science is really just beginning to unravel all the nuances, but so far the evidence is quite supportive of the benefits of practices like the body scan. To wrap up, let's summarize and get practical. Body scan meditation is a simple practice with a powerful impact. It reduces stress, helps you manage your emotions, and strengthens the mind-body connection, all backed by scientific findings. The neuroscience shows that your brain and physiology actually change in response to this practice in a way that makes you calmer and more resilient. What are some practical takeaways and tips if you want to try the body scan for yourself? Here are a few things to remember. Start small and consistent. You don't need to start with 45 minutes at a time. You could begin with just 5 to 10 minutes each day, scanning a few key areas of your body. The key is consistency. Set aside a regular time, for example, right before bed or first thing in the morning. Even short daily sessions can start training your brain. Over time, if you can extend to 20 minutes, great, but even a little bit will help. Remember that the benefits build with practice, so aim for a regular routine. As one mindfulness expert famously said, you don't have to like it, you just have to do it, meaning that you might not notice huge changes each time, and that's okay. The positive effects come gradually. Don't judge the experience. As you scan your body, you might encounter discomfort, restlessness, or strong emotions. You might also find your mind wandering a lot, which is totally normal. The practice is to notice whatever comes up with a gentle, non-judgmental attitude. If your mind drifts off, simply notice, oh, I'm thinking about work, and kindly bring your attention back to the part of the body you were focusing on. No need to scold yourself. Mind wandering is part of the process. If you feel an itch or ache, you can choose to observe it for a moment rather than immediately react. This attitude of openness and curiosity is what trains your brain to not be so reactive. The goal is not to feel only pleasant sensations or to empty your mind. The goal is to build awareness of whatever is there. With time, this non-judgmental awareness will spill over into daily life, helping you face stress or pain with a bit more equanimity. Engage your senses and relax. Use your breath as an anchor at the start. A few deep breaths can set a calming tone, then move your attention slowly through the body. You might imagine a warm spotlight moving along your body, or simply mentally name each area: shoulder, hand as you feel it. Allow your body to relax as you go. For instance, many people notice that when they focus on a tight area, it naturally softens. If you find it hard to concentrate, you're not alone. Using a guided body scan recording can be very helpful, especially for beginners. There are many free guided meditations that you can follow along with, which can keep you on track. Over time, you'll get more familiar with the practice and can do it on your own, anytime, anywhere. Even a 2-minute body scan at your desk, just quickly checking in with your body from feet to head, can be centering. Finally, a word of encouragement. The body scan is a gentle exercise, but its effects can be profound. It's normal if it feels a bit odd or challenging at first. Stick with it. Many people describe a growing sense of calm and self-awareness after making this a regular habit. If you practice consistently, you may notice that you're a little less reactive to daily stresses, that you catch yourself taking a deep breath in tense moments, or that you recognize feelings in your body and emotions sooner than before. These are signs that your mindfulness muscle is getting stronger. In summary, body scan meditation is a research-backed way to reduce stress and improve your mental well-being by simply tuning into your own body. Psychology and neuroscience both support its benefits, from lowering cortisol and anxiety to reshaping brain networks for the better. And the best part is, it's accessible to anyone. You don't need any special equipment, just your mind, your body, and a willingness to pay attention. So consider giving it a try. Maybe tonight lie down for a few minutes and do a simple body scan. See if you feel a bit more relaxed or grounded afterward. Over time, these small exercises can lead to big changes in how you feel and how you deal with life's ups and downs. Thank you for watching, and I encourage you to explore the practice of body scan meditation for yourself. Your mind and body will thank you. Now take a nice deep breath, feel it in your whole body, and have a calm, mindful rest of your day. Thanks for watching LifeNLearn. We hope body scan meditation helps bring more calm and focus into your life. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to LifeNLearn for more tips on mindfulness and well-being. Have a peaceful day.